The group arrives at the marked cliff and halts exactly where the ritual circle must be established.
The circle is carved into the ground, marking the boundary that separates the ritual space from the natural world.
The compass is placed to confirm the northern axis, but the direction to remain true.
The ritual objects are placed at the center. Initials.
The leader raises her hand and begins the opening sequence that binds all participants into the ritual flow.
By moon and flame, we call thee, awaken!
The sky responds to the call. And the moon, the thread at the center, begins to move on its own, reacting to a force that has not been summoned correctly.
Qian!
The same voice repeats again, but this time it comes from inside the circle itself.
One member looks up and sees the stars shift, while the others see nothing change. By earth and moon, this power I bind.
The earth calls for the awakening. The earth calls for the awakening.
The earth awakes, the sky descends.
The ground beneath them shifts subtly, altering distance without moving any of their bodies.
The silver shard reflects a face that does not belong to the one holding it.
The thread tightens suddenly, as if pulling against something unseen beneath the surface.
Rorik! Rorik, listen to me! Rorik!
The one who was called begins to look around, unable to recognize who is speaking to him.
The leader orders silence, but the command continues echoing even after she stops speaking.
The center of the circle deepens, as if something below is now fully aware of them. A figure appears at the edge of the cliff, seen clearly by one, but absent to all others.
The leader intervenes, but her movement feels delayed, as though time resists her control.
The figure's face becomes visible, and it resembles someone the observer once knew.
You are real!
I acknowledge the transformation!
The observer's voice triggers a collapse in the center, and the ritual can no longer be stabilized.
The guard attempts to take control, but his actions fail to affect anything around him.
Aru! Gloite Muruth!
The leader realizes the system is no longer testing them, it is correcting them.
The one who lost his name now speaks, but the voice does not belong to him anymore.
The ground beneath the circle reverses its depth, turning solid surface into perceived void.
The observer sees another version of himself standing where he should not exist.
Listen to me. I command you. The ritual must proceed as planned.
All four are pulled toward the center at once, as if something below has made its decision.
The vessel holder is forced to step forward, as if selected by the system without consent.
The selected one looks down.
The system tests him once more, projecting a final memory designed to make him choose.
The ground gives way completely, and the chosen one is pulled downward into the center.
The observer looks at the others and realizes one of them no longer casts a shadow.
The guard reaches for the leader, but his hand passes through her, as if she is no longer fully present.
Beni spiritus contrache nunc, liga hang virtutem.
Contrache!
The circle markings begin to burn faintly, as if rejecting the forced closure.
The leader offers herself to complete the closure, shifting the burden onto her alone.
The circle contracts violently, pulling all energy into the center as the ritual seals.
The light returns suddenly, and the center is empty, as if nothing had ever been there. The observer hears footsteps behind them, matching their pace exactly.
As they walk again, the observer notices that their shadows no longer match their movements.
Far behind them, the cliff remains still, but a faint glimmer briefly appears at the exact center of where the circle once was.
As they descend further inland, the observer realizes the footsteps behind them have returned.
The observer looks back again, and for a brief moment, he sees a fourth figure walking with them.
The guard reaches for the observer again, but this time the observer feels nothing at all.
Behind them, the distant cliff flickers once more, as if the ritual is attempting to reopen.
The observer suddenly stops walking, as if he no longer remembers where they were going.
The guard turns to call him again, but this time the observer does not recognize him at all. The observer slowly turns away, choosing a different direction that leads back toward the coast.
The guard watches him leave, unable to follow, as if his body refuses to move. Far ahead, the observer reaches the cliff again, as if no distance had ever separated it.
The observer steps into the exact center where the circle once existed, without hesitation. He lowers his hand toward the ground, repeating the same motion that began the ritual before.
The ground responds instantly, forming the circle again without any tool.
Additional figures begin to appear at the edges, standing exactly where the original group once stood.
We are one. The cycle returns. The ritual begins again, exactly as before, but this time without